Many people around the world dream of moving to the United States. Some see it as a land of opportunity, others as a place where life becomes easy the moment you arrive. Social media, agents, and even friends often make it sound simple. Apply for a visa, wait a little, and your life will change forever. But the truth is very different, and that difference is what most people are never told. U.S. immigration is not a fast or predictable system. It is complex, slow, and emotionally demanding. People often believe that once they submit their application, the hardest part is over. In reality, submitting the application is only the beginning. From that point onward, the process can take months or even years, with long periods of silence and uncertainty. Visa applications are one of the biggest examples of expectation versus reality. Whether it is a work visa, student visa, or family-based visa, delays have become normal. Embassy appointments are often unavailable for months. Interviews get scheduled far later than expected, and even after a successful interview, many applicants face administrative processing. This stage has no fixed timeline. Some cases clear quickly, while others remain pending with no explanation. During this time, people put their lives on hold, unable to plan jobs, education, or even family events. Green card applicants face similar challenges. Many believe that marriage or employment automatically leads to permanent residence. What they do not realize is how priority dates, annual limits, and country-based quotas slow everything down. Some applicants wait so long that their personal situations completely change. Children age out of eligibility, job offers expire, and families remain separated for years. The process moves forward, but often at a pace that feels painfully slow. Asylum is another area filled with misinformation. Online, it is often portrayed as an easy path to stay in the U.S., get a work permit, and build a new life. The reality is much harsher. Asylum backlogs are massive, with interviews scheduled years into the future. During this waiting period, applicants live in constant uncertainty. Every decision depends on a case that may not be heard for a very long time. Approval is never guaranteed, and a denial can change everything overnight. One of the most difficult parts of the U.S. immigration system is the lack of clear communication. Many applicants expect regular updates, but instead receive long periods of silence. Checking case status becomes a daily habit, often with no change for months. This silence creates stress, anxiety, and frustration. People begin to question whether something is wrong with their case, even when everything is technically moving as it should. Another reality many people are not prepared for is how often immigration rules and policies change. What works today may not work tomorrow. New regulations, court decisions, and policy shifts can affect entire categories of applicants. This means advice that helped someone a few years ago may no longer apply. Immigration is not just paperwork, it is a system influenced by law, politics, and global events. Financial pressure is also a major part of the process. Application fees, legal costs, medical exams, translations, and document preparation add up quickly. For many families, this represents a significant financial burden. When delays happen, costs increase even more. Renewals, extensions, and repeated filings become necessary, turning what was expected to be a short process into a long-term investment. Mental and emotional stress is something rarely discussed. Living with uncertainty for years affects mental health. People feel stuck between two lives, unable to fully move forward or go back. Plans are postponed, opportunities are missed, and relationships are tested. Immigration is not just a legal journey, it is a personal one that affects every part of life. The biggest mistake many applicants make is believing promises without understanding the system. No agent, lawyer, or consultant can guarantee results. Anyone who promises fast approval or 100% success is ignoring the reality of how U.S. immigration actually works. Patience, accurate information, and realistic expectations are far more valuable than false hope. Despite all these challenges, people continue to apply because the opportunity still matters. The U.S. offers education, careers, and possibilities that attract millions every year. But success in immigration does not come from shortcuts. It comes from understanding the process, preparing properly, and accepting that delays are part of the journey. If you are planning to apply, or if you are already waiting, the most important thing you can do is stay informed and patient. Focus on what you can control, keep your documents accurate, and avoid relying on rumors or social media myths. Immigration is not easy, but understanding the reality makes the journey more manageable. This is the truth about U.S. immigration that many people only learn after they are already in the system. Expectations are often high, but reality requires time, resilience, and persistence. Knowing this from the beginning can save you from disappointment and help you prepare for what lies ahead. As time passes inside the U.S. immigration system, many applicants begin to realize that waiting is not just about dates on a calendar. Waiting slowly changes how people think, plan, and live their daily lives. What starts as hope often turns into constant uncertainty. People wake up every morning checking emails, case status pages, and messages, hoping for any sign of movement. Most days, there is nothing new. One of the hardest realities is that immigration timelines are not equal for everyone. Two people can apply for the same visa on the same day and still experience completely different outcomes. One case may move forward smoothly, while another gets delayed for reasons that are never clearly explained. This lack of fairness is difficult to accept, especially for those who have followed every rule and submitted every document correctly. Many applicants also underestimate how deeply immigration affects family life. Spouses live apart for years, parents miss important moments in their children's lives, and long-distance relationships become emotionally exhausting. Video calls and messages help, but they never fully replace being physically present. Over time, the emotional distance can grow, creating stress that no application form ever mentions. Work and career plans are another major challenge. People often believe that once they enter the U.S., opportunities will be immediate. In reality, many immigrants face limitations due to visa restrictions. Some cannot work at all, while others are limited to specific employers or job roles. Changing jobs, asking for promotions, or starting a business can become complicated or even impossible under certain visa conditions. This creates frustration, especially for skilled individuals who are capable of contributing much more. Students face their own version of reality. Studying in the U.S. is often advertised as a direct path to success, but the pressure is intense. Tuition fees are high, work options are limited, and maintaining legal status requires constant attention. One mistake, one missed requirement, can put an entire future at risk. After graduation, the uncertainty continues with work visas, lotteries, and employer sponsorships that are never guaranteed. Another truth many people discover late is how much documentation matters. Even small errors can cause major delays. Missing signatures, outdated forms, or inconsistent information can lead to requests for evidence or even denials. Immigration officers rely heavily on paperwork, not personal stories or intentions. This makes the process feel cold and impersonal, especially when applicants are dealing with life-changing decisions. Scams and misinformation are also widespread. Desperate applicants often turn to unofficial sources for guidance. Fake consultants, unlicensed agents, and online rumors promise shortcuts that do not exist. Many people lose money, time, and sometimes their legal status because they trusted the wrong advice. Once a mistake is made, fixing it can take years or may not be possible at all. Another difficult reality is that approval does not always mean stability. Even after receiving a visa or green card, rules and responsibilities continue. Status must be maintained, renewals must be filed on time, and laws must be followed carefully. One violation, even unintentional, can have serious consequences. Immigration is not something you complete once and forget, it stays with you for a long time. People also struggle with identity and belonging. Living in a new country brings cultural differences, language barriers, and social challenges. Many immigrants feel caught between two worlds, not fully belonging to either. This emotional struggle is rarely discussed but affects many people deeply. Success stories often hide years of adjustment, loneliness, and self-doubt. Despite all of this, many immigrants continue forward because they believe in the long-term value of their journey. They learn patience, resilience, and adaptability. Over time, some find stability, build careers, and create meaningful lives. But these outcomes usually come after years of effort, not overnight success. The truth is that U.S. immigration is not designed for comfort or speed. It is a system built on rules, limits, and procedures that do not always align with personal timelines. Understanding this reality early helps people make better decisions. It encourages careful planning instead of emotional choices driven by unrealistic expectations. For anyone currently waiting, it is important to remember that delays do not always mean failure. Many cases move slowly but eventually reach a positive outcome. Staying informed, keeping records organized, and seeking reliable information can make a real difference. Most importantly, managing expectations protects mental health during long periods of uncertainty. This part of the journey is rarely shown on social media. What people usually see is the final result, not the years of waiting behind it. But those unseen years are where the real story of immigration exists. Knowing this truth does not make the process easy, but it makes it honest. As the immigration journey continues, many people reach a stage where silence becomes the hardest part. Not rejection, not approval, but silence. Weeks turn into months, and months quietly turn into years. There are no emails, no updates, no explanations. Life continues around them, but their own future feels paused. This silence creates a unique kind of stress that is difficult to explain to anyone who has not experienced it. At this point, many applicants begin questioning their own decisions. They replay the past in their minds, wondering if they chose the right visa, the right country, or the right timing. Some feel regret for opportunities they left behind, while others fear that waiting too long will cost them their best years. Immigration slowly becomes more than a legal process, it becomes an emotional burden that follows people everywhere. Relationships are tested heavily during this phase. Families who were once confident begin to feel tired. Conversations that used to be hopeful start sounding repetitive. Friends and relatives ask the same questions again and again, and eventually people stop asking altogether. That silence from others can feel just as heavy as the silence from the system. Financial pressure also increases with time. Savings meant to last a few months stretch into years. Legal fees, renewals, medical exams, and document translations quietly add up. Some people are forced to put life plans on hold, buying a home, starting a family, or pursuing education, because nothing feels secure enough to move forward confidently. Another reality many people face is comparison. They see others getting approvals, green cards, or citizenship, even when their own cases seem similar or stronger. Social media intensifies this feeling. Success stories are shared loudly, while struggles remain hidden. This creates a false sense that everyone else is moving ahead, while they are stuck. At the same time, immigrants learn lessons that most people never have to learn. They become extremely patient. They learn to live without certainty. They plan life in short steps instead of long dreams. This constant adjustment slowly reshapes how they think and how they define success. Survival becomes an achievement in itself. Some applicants eventually receive approvals after long waits. But even then, reality does not always match expectations. Adjusting to life in the U.S. comes with new challenges. Cultural differences, workplace pressure, and the cost of living surprise many people. The idea that everything becomes easy after approval quickly fades. Immigration does not end stress, it simply changes its form. Others face denials or long-term delays that force them to rethink everything. Some choose to start over in another country. Some return home feeling defeated. And some remain stuck between options, unable to move forward or backward. These outcomes are rarely discussed, but they are part of the real immigration story. One important truth becomes clear at this stage: immigration success is not just about paperwork or qualifications. It also depends on timing, policy changes, and factors completely outside an applicant's control. Understanding this can prevent self-blame and emotional burnout. Not every delay is personal, and not every outcome reflects someone's worth or effort. Mental health is often ignored during this journey. Anxiety, depression, and constant worry are common, yet rarely addressed. Many immigrants feel pressure to stay strong and positive, even when they are exhausted inside. Talking about these struggles openly is still difficult, but acknowledging them is necessary. Despite all these challenges, many people continue because they believe in their long-term goals. They find strength in small progress, supportive communities, and shared experiences with others going through the same process. Over time, they realize that immigration is not just about reaching a destination, but about who they become along the way. The biggest reality is this: U.S. immigration is not a straight road. It is unpredictable, slow, and emotionally demanding. Anyone entering this process should be prepared not only legally, but mentally and emotionally as well. Clear expectations protect people from disappointment and help them make smarter decisions. Understanding the full truth does not mean giving up. It means moving forward with awareness instead of illusion. Those who succeed are often not the fastest or luckiest, but the ones who stayed informed, patient, and realistic. This is the side of immigration that rarely makes headlines, but it is the side that defines the journey for millions. Knowing this truth early can save years of confusion, stress, and false hope.